There's a Liv bet for value.
Looks like it.
600. And Charlie raises enough to put her all in.
Whoa, Charlie definitely preying on Liv's frustrations today.
Wow, big decision for Liv now.
I don't know if you saw those numbers, but that's what we call a massive overbet. Liv Boeree just bet 600 euro on the river, and Charlie Carroll made it 8,200 euro. That's a lot more than 600.
That is good math skills right there, my man. That's why you're one of the poker guys, for sure. This is a cash game. It's fun. It's actually cool. It's from PokerStars, and they have a loose cannon in here too, which also plays into the hand at least a little bit, which is pretty sweet. And it was suggested by Max Sawyer on Twitter. If you have a suggestion for poker guys, you got to tweet it at us, include a YouTube link, and a timestamp.
And if you want to be awesome and
who doesn't?
be the best in the world, maybe you should learn a little bit about Dash Digital Cash, Jonathan.
Okay, Grant, why don't you tell us about it?
That's their motto, actually.
Yeah. If you want to be handsome?
If you want to be awesome and be the best in the world.
I'm going with handsome.
All right, so Dash Digital Cash is a cryptocurrency like Bitcoin, but it has some awesome advantages over Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, such as extremely fast transaction times, 1.3 seconds.
Yes, also insanely cheap transaction fees, less than a penny. No matter how much you're sending, it's super fast and super cheap. Get you some Dash Digital Cash.
Right. I could be in China. Jonathan could be in Canada. We could send Dash to each other. It costs, what, less than a penny still?
Still.
Wow, that's crazy. I could send $1 million?
Go for it.
Yeah, and it takes how long?
1 second.
He's out. Queen Jack for Liv. That's a raise to 400. Kevin's got junk.
I can't play.
We know.
I can't play.
Just kidding.
Just do one eyebrow. Nice.
I can only do one, though.
Oh, really? It's embarrassing.
Yeah, the other one doesn't work. And I can only wink with one eye as well.
Okay, that's when you tell me what your degree is in.
Challenged. She's challenged.
Yeah, like that's.
You can only wink with
that's
one
when
eye.
things fall apart.
So Kevin, you went away. I went away with you.
Scientology and science. Well, I used to study to be a scientist. I can't wink. What? Wait. Yeah, it's the most challenging thing.
So Charlie called Liv's raise. The flop gives Liv top pair and Charlie second pair.
Check.
550.
Hiya. Higher.
If Liv wins this pot, it'll be our first at this table.
If Charlie loses the 550, he's going to reload for the 550.
3 of hearts on the turn. Charlie picks up a flush draw to go with his pair of tens. The action goes check, check. The river card is the 5 of spades, so Liv has a lock on this.
Check.
There's a Liv bet for value.
Looks like it.
600. And Charlie raises enough to put her all in.
Whoa, Charlie definitely preying on Liv's frustrations today.
Wow, big decision for Liv now.
Charlie, Charlie, Charlie.
That pose, though.
The game is about to get good.
He's like part Bieber, part Puck.
Flat pre.
It will cost Liv 8,200 euros to call. And we know she's good.
Ooh,
Value
slow
bet.
down.
Bluff. Can I hold your hand for a second? Give me your hand. Come here.
Charlie, do it.
Charlie, give her your hand.
What's wrong with you? Come on.
Don't be a
No, 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 that's come on.
Can I get a cloak?
Yeah, right.
Liv calls and wins a huge pot.
Rats.
Pair of tens.
Queen jack.
Pair of queens. Look at that. Liv Boeree.
That is an enormous call by Liv Boeree. She bet 600. Did you see the sizing there?
I saw the sizing.
She bet 600. Charlie made it 8,200. Liv, with one pair, not even that good of a one-pair hand, decides to make the call. That's a pretty crazy thing to do. Also crazy is what Charlie Carroll did. I mean, wow. He has second pair here. It usually rates to be a bluff catcher, but he decides, I need to turn this into a bluff. And guess what? He was right. But what a bluff.
I mean, this whole hand is awesome, right? I think part of how we have to figure out what even happened is to go back to the turn, where Liv decides not to bet her top pair on the turn when the third heart comes. And that sort of informs what's going on and sort of the level of strength that she has there in Charlie's mind when he puts that together with the 600 bet on the river.
Right, because he's thinking, okay, if Liv has a flush, she doesn't block any of the pairs, and she's going to want to get more value, right?
Right.
By the way, Charlie has the 10 of hearts, which blocks the only pair that the flush could have. So Charlie knows, okay, Liv probably doesn't have a flush when she doesn't bet the turn. She probably doesn't even have a set or two pair when she doesn't bet the turn. So Charlie says, okay, I have to go for it here because when Liv bets 600 on the river, it looks so value-y, and Charlie's very rarely beating the value here.
Right. She probably is playing King 10 exactly like this, and he's already beating that hand.
Yeah.
Although once in a while, if he makes this play, he might get heroed by that hand, and that would be cool.
I mean, look at how he turns over the cards.
Yeah.
He's kind of like, I know I'm beat, but maybe you have King 10. Is it possible?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Live one time.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Never mind, it's Queen Jack.
But besides King 10, Liv really probably is going to play almost any of our other hands like this that he's beating for value specifically, right? So I love that Charlie sniffs this out and thinks, well, with that sizing, she's sort of capped at one pair. Because maybe she would check back some two pair on the turn.
Maybe.
But she's never going to bet this little with two pair on the river almost ever, ever, ever. And Charlie figures that out.
Right, but Liv also figures something out here, which is a problem for Charlie. And let's figure out how she figured it out, Jonathan.
Wow.
I'm going to say that phrase a lot, I suppose.
I'm really excited to hear more of it.
So the clue that I think is the biggest deal here for Liv is that Charlie never takes an aggressive action until this huge check shove on the river. Wouldn't most players want to try to get some value for their flush? Wouldn't they be afraid of not getting the value?
That is one really big part of this story, which doesn't entirely add up, but there's a second part too. Because sometimes maybe Charlie is going to play, let's say, the nuts just like this, right?
Yeah.
Maybe he'll check turn and then check raise river. But will he check raise a bet of 600 to 8.2 thousand euro with any strong hand here? Because as we see, it looks like Liv is capped at one pair almost always here. Wouldn't Charlie almost always bet a lot less? So to try and actually get value out of those hands instead of just go for it. Now maybe Charlie is balanced and maybe Charlie is really going to go for it like this with the nuts as well as with some bluffs. But it's hard to believe the story.
It is kind of hard to believe the story. At the same point, we only showed you this one hand, but for this entire session, Charlie has been the VPIP master, meaning he's been voluntarily putting chips in the pot the most out of everybody. He's been taking aggressive actions all the time. Liv is well aware of this. That's got to be a factor.
Absolutely. Now, all this is in play, right? We're starting to get to, we went from how does Charlie make this play to how does Liv make this call? We did the story piece. Sometimes when we're doing the show, we also talk about distribution, right? Which, what we mean by that is, where does this hand fall in the strength-wise in terms of the current range of hands that I'm still have in my range that I'm playing, right? Queen Jack kind of falls like maybe slightly above average at best for Liv. She can really have better hands here that she might play like this, i.e. ace, queen, king, queen, possibly aces, possibly kings.
Yeah, definitely she could have all of those hands. And some of you might be saying, isn't it way low in her distribution? Doesn't she have flushes in her range? Well, we think like Charlie thinks that she doesn't really have flushes in her range because of the turn. So that actually raises this up in her distribution, but not that high. It's just a kind of a weakish top pair. It's not that high in her distribution.
Right, because we're saying she can bet queens for value, but she's probably not going to bet even that many tens for strong value here. Maybe a few, like ace 10 and king 10. I don't know if she's even betting any worse tens than that. Maybe one more, maybe, like jack 10. This is what we're down to. So yeah, so it really is, like we're saying, maybe in the middle, maybe slightly better. So we can't use distribution as an argument to make this call for this massive shove alone. That's not good enough.
And we don't think all of the kind of cutesy stuff they're doing on the river with tells actually is a factor here. We think that's more of just a 4TV thing, and I don't think that really plays into Liv's decision. It's not like when she said bluff, Charlie was like, did she figure it out? I said, did she say bluff and I freaked out?
That said, he sure wouldn't let Liv touch him. Okay, a lot of interesting decisions in this hand. I really like how both these guys played it, even though it sort of looks like this crazy thing that happened, this like 12-card pileup in some way.
Very strange in a way.
What do you think about Charlie's decision to play his hand this way? Do you like it or not? You got to let us know in the comments. Additionally, Do you think this ultimately is a good call by Liv? I know it worked this time. Is this profitable over time, though, is really the question we have to answer. You could argue we're not in this situation very often, but guess what? Liv was just in it. And by the way, if she were to fold this hand on national TV or international TV, she's probably going to be in that situation more because people are going to see that she's, able to do that. So it does matter. And let us know in the comments what you think, if this is a good play or not by both these players.
Right, and the play that is most interesting to me here is clearly Charlie's check shove.
Sure.
Charlie plays like that a lot. He does a lot of weird stuff. He puts people in weird spots. Now, we've done hands with him and Mustafa Kennett, who is another guy who puts people in weird spots, maybe even more so than Charlie Carroll himself.
Probably.
To see our favorite Mustafa Kennett Charlie Carroll hand, click right up here. It's something you really got to check out.
A lot of good table talk in that one, too, which
yeah.
is pretty sweet.
Yes.
If you want to know how we came to all these decisions, we really get into it, by the way, about, what Charlie's doing and what Liv is doing. Is this a good call or not? On our podcast, The Breakdown presented by the Poker Guys, we spent a good 45 minutes delving into all the different aspects of the decision tree of this hand, all the different decisions, what we like, what we don't, why we think what we do. You want to hear that? Check it out. It's on your favorite podcast app.
And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel.